Ugh. September 2025, video exclusive 17. There is just so much that keeps going on and keeps happening. Uh, Drones, again, it was just out, radio report, drone incursion into Denmark. I think it was Denmark again. But, right? Gray areas, couple episodes on that, right? All offenses are not equal. Let me use my own property for, right? Someone buzzes a drone around my place, and I can indeed, probably should, rant and rave and violation of my sovereign space and blah, blah, blah. Stop doing that. If you don't stop doing it, it will be war, But do I go to war with my neighbor on a first offense, a second offense? Now, if the drone's coming down, hovering, and clearly attempting to peer into my bedroom window, that's a whole other level of offense, right? Something much more to get upset about, right? If the drones are probing at, around, towards, over military bases, that's a whole other level of offense. I just heard the news. I haven't had a chance to check in with sources to try to dig deeper and get further information that isn't publicly available. So I'm just saying we got to be careful in how we act and not overreact. Yes, absolutely. You can't just not say anything. You've got to say something. You've got to posture back. Absolutely. But where is that red line? Where is the point where indeed, all right, but sorry, you keep doing it, you're risking World War III. We're pushing back, right? The United States sends spy planes over Russian sovereign territories all the time. Russians do it to us, we do it to China, China does it, right? Everybody does it to everybody else. That's a certain degree of offense and indeed a violation of sovereign space, but it's not the level of hovering around and buzzing military installations, right? The equivalent of buzzing around my property, annoying. You shouldn't be doing that. Stop doing that. I am definitely going to complain about that. If you keep doing it, I might put it back. You're peering in my windows with it, a whole other degree of offense. Now, this is a video exclusive 17. I had the other one about the Russian drones into Poland. I purposely think Putin is willfully, malice aforethought, doing it, wanting to invoke some sort of military movement response out of the West in order to try to cost us money, right? Check that whole episode out, right? He is hurting economically. He wants to hurt us economically any potential way he can, and indeed having it so that we feel we need to move NATO troops around and whatnot costs us money. That's money we don't have for tax cuts to give back to our citizens. That's money not in the general welfare economy, going generally to promote and raise our overall economic GDP. That's funds that have to be spent for that could be spent for something else. So I think he's purposely pushing and probing to a degree. But again, what is the realistic response? Peace through strength. Absolutely. Again, you can't just, let's pretend it didn't happen. No, you're going to get more of it. And right, it could, tyrants only know strength back. Appeasement and weakness invites them to push more, to grab more, to aggress more, to grab land more, to oppress people more. So, but at the end of the day, bottom line, the point of all this is there aren't no clear, hard and dry, cut and dry, black and white, this for that, tit for tat, sure answers. It all gets murky. And I'm all for, and in fact, I used to own a game, I forget what it was called for the PC about, right? All sides engage in propaganda. You've probably, hopefully heard me say that before. Yes, even our side, right? All sides engage in hyperbolic diplomatic language, right? Sternly worded letters, and if you do that again, we're going to bomb Moscow. Now, obviously, that's a little too hyperbolic, but you get my point, right? We say things very sternly in the hopes that we don't have to back them up physically and militarily. Tough talk, hopefully, doesn't get too tough, doesn't go too far and gets out of control, that both sides feel backed into a corner and indeed a war starts. But you push the bounds of the language in the hopes that military force then doesn't need to be the option to follow it up. Understand what I'm saying? I think you do. Right. But some people don't get this. It's the Trump derangement syndrome, the art of the deal. Trump has always been that kind of hyperbolic diplomatic language, ask for Mars, settle for the moon, over the top language. He's always been that way, even in economic and other policies, and people don't understand it. They don't get it. Or, of course, orange man bad, Trump derangement syndrome. If somebody else were doing it, they'd be fine with it. But because it's orange man, oh my God, freak out. So you got to push back. You got to be vocal. You've got to sometimes push the envelope a little, but you got to know when to pull back too at times. We don't want, no one I know wants World War III. I sure don't. Do you? But yet at the same time, Neville Chamberlainism has proven over and over to be, doesn't work, right? If you don't stand up to a tyrant when you could have stopped him in the early stages, how much worse it can and does get. So that's why for decades since World War II, there have been all these I want to say incursions, all these I don't know what to call them, minor skirmishes. Those involved in them don't think they're minor, but right, we fought Vietnam, like it or not, the domino theory, Korea, everywhere, Sarajevo, Lebanon, and blah, 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 all these other wars, minor, smaller, regional, that's right, regional wars, hoping to avoid the explosion, not pun intended, but You know what I mean? Intended, yeah, that it doesn't blow up into massive World War III. You fight the little battles, hoping that you can stave off letting off the pressure so the pressure doesn't build up into one massive, overblown, complete, all out Third World War. I, I've said it on other, right? I don't necessarily have to like reality, but it's the reality we've got. Got to deal in the reality. Do you want to just, well, let's just jump? I don't like China and its aggressions. Should we just go ahead and invade them? Should we go ahead and start World War III ourselves? I don't like what Russia's doing. Should we just automatically then start dropping nuclear weapons on Russia? Do you seriously want to automatically escalate to the most absurd level? Do not other steps in between, hopefully avoiding the escalation to the ultimate of destruction, to avoid that? Aren't those other steps important? Again, I don't have to like them, but I understand them. And I have to deal in the reality that we have. I don't like the world as it is, but we've got to deal in the world as it is. All right, anyway, thank you. Take care. God bless. Stay tuned. How far, how much more is Putin going to keep pushing? It ultimately is on him before indeed his rhetoric goes too far, and more so, less than the rhetoric, his actions of keep escalating and pushing and pushing and probing, and look, that eventually there's got to be pushback. Let's hope he wakes up at Sting. Remember the song? Let's hope the Russians love their children too. The Russian people aren't our enemy. The Russians do love their children. Putin doesn't give a damn about the Russian children. He's sending them by thousands to be slaughtered in Ukraine. He doesn't care. He does not care. He has his notions of grandeur of rebuilding the whole Russian Soviet Empire, and he's hell-bent on it. That's his focus. He doesn't care how many people have to die for him to hopefully achieve that. Let us hope he wakes up and actually starts to care about somebody other than his dream, his nightmare he wants to impose on others. Or World War III is around the corner. Let us hope and pray that he wakes up and pulls back from the brink, because we very well could be heading to World War III here. Thank you all. Take care. God bless. Oh, where's the mouse? The mouse isn't working. Okay. Bye-bye.